Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling, and shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today. Do you ever think the internet's a mistake? Like, that's... Okay, hold on. That was a bold statement to come out swinging with, but, I just... You ever find something that just makes you go, what? But hold on, this makes it sound like it's got like a much worse tone than it is. I mean this in the comedic sense of a word. Well, not comedic sense of words, and it's more like a comedic anecdote, if anything. Where I don't even know what to say. Like, it's been about like T-minus 30 seconds of me closing this video, which I suppose I'll tell you about after Isabel's done speaking. So, good evening, everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 8:13 PM on Tuesday, December 12th, 2023. So... I don't even know how to start this conversation. Basically, I've just closed out of a video. It's so unbelievably niche, and like the overlap between the potential interests, I suppose, are like it. I'm talking about a video which caters to the very center of like a four-way Venn diagram, which I don't even know what to think about that. And for some reason I find myself in the center, but it's an MMD video using the Five Nights at Freddy's security breach characters dancing to Rolling by Brave Girls dance practice version. And you might be like, what did you just say to me? And if you're like about 0.01% of people who went, heck yeah, I've seen that video, well, okay. Well, welcome to your new home or something like that. I don't even know what to make. It's a sort of thing where it's like, I realise I have, you know, and everyone's got interests, you know, that people have got things that they like, you know, myself included, yourself probably included as well. And some things you might find a bit more esoteric compared to your peers or whatever. Like some things are not esoteric. Video games are very mainstream now, you know. League of Legends, like probably one of the, maybe the most popular game at the moment, or of this entire decade, to be perfectly honest, and it's a game I like, and it's a game I play. Not to that like much anymore, but I still play it. When you're not allowed to leave. So, you know, some things you're like, yeah, this feels pretty normy, as they would say, pretty normal, pretty vanilla. And then some things you get a little bit, you know, a bit more like out there, you know, like Baba Is You or something. You know, it's pretty well known in the video gaming sphere, but in the like the normal person sphere, you know, people don't really know about Baba Is You all that often. Maybe they've like heard of it sort of vaguely. But it's still like not that crazy. When you get to like super specific niche games, I don't even know, like I can't even think of like a super specific niche game right now or something. But like, what's it? I wonder what the nichest game I played is, or the nichest game I can think that I've played is. I don't know, but there's probably a good answer there. Like insert whichever niche interest of your own that you have in there. And sometimes, you know, these niche interests or less popular interests overlap, or even not even the less popular ones, the ones which are just like, yeah, I've heard about it, sort of thing, overlap. And sometimes you find a video which overlaps all like those interests, which not only you know about, which you know about, which, you know, feels like it's a probabilistic anomaly, I suppose, for it to exist in the first place, and just it makes you reflect and just be like, what on earth is going on? And so that's basically what happened to me. You might be like, how did you even end up on that video? It's not even a very interesting story. I was just looking up like Project Sakai, and I was like, I was like, was there an MV for this song? I can't remember what song it was. Maybe it was like Purpose or something. And I like looked it up, and then it, you know, YouTube recommended really sends you down some weird rabbit holes at some points. And then at some point, I went to like fixed camera versions, dance practice. Oh, that was it. It was a new. One of the groups in Project Sakai, the Bad Squad, they have a new song, and I was just like, I wonder if there's a music video for this one yet. And turns out there is. And it led me down a rabbit hole, which I eventually ended up in this one channel who makes MMD, and I need to like break down what this video means, because you're not even going to understand what it, like why it feels so esoteric in the first place. Who basically makes MMD videos of Five Nights at Freddy's security breach characters to dancers like Project Sakai, K-pop, etc., etc. So MMD, if you don't know, I think it's called like Miku Miku Dance. It's basically it's like a freeware dance it's not like a dance software, but like it's used to impose preset like dance routines onto 3D models, mainly because it was made for Miku, because, you know, that's kind of how a Vocaloid scene grew. It's just like, you know, Hatsune Miku being like her voice, and like, or her Vocaloid bank, whatever, being sort of not open source. I think you still have to pay for it, but being like a community based thing. And then like where her 3D model being community based thing, so the music videos can also be like a community made thing to begin with too. and MMD is kind of a software for it. But that's also a software that people are now extrapolated and used for basically any kind of 3D model now. Much more common, I think, in like anime-esque fandoms and circles, unsurprisingly. Like I feel like probably nowadays you see it a lot more for like Genshin. Like it's also you probably see it a lot in like random React GIFs, which honestly kind of crack me up every single time. Like the absolute non sequitur MMD sort of gifs. I don't know. It tickles my funny bone in a way which I wouldn't imagine. But when they just like don't make sense, where it's just like, I don't know, like a character like, I don't know, Tartaglia dancing to, I don't know, Rasputin or something, and it just says L plus ratio or something like that on it. I don't know why I find that so funny. That's probably my own version of my own juvenile humour or something. It just makes it quite funny. I don't know. So that's basically what MMD is. It's just like using, it's a software to be able to import, I suppose, dance routines onto 3D models or stuff like that. And then you have Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, which is like the latest, actually I'm not sure if it's the latest installment in the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise anymore, but it's definitely been one of the more popular ones of Five Nights at Freddy's sort of like in recent days. You might be like, is it a good game? I was actually considering playing it for a while because I was like, I think I watched Markiplier play like the first episode. I was like, I'm shocked at how like good the scenery like looks. Like it's actually like a cool design place. Turns out the game itself is not like that amazing or anything, but I don't know if Five Nights at Freddy's has been all too much about the gameplay since, you know, the first game or something. But that's probably a bit, you know, that's probably pushing it a bit too far. But certainly I think a lot of the hype behind Five Nights at Freddy's nowadays is very much to do with the world and the characters in the first place rather than necessarily the game. It's a franchise carried by itself, I suppose, rather than necessarily the products it creates, which is totally fine, mind you. But just do be how it is. So Security Breach is the latest installation of it, and like I don't know about you, but I feel like I see these characters everywhere, and probably that depends on which circles you sort of run around in, which is totally fair enough. But I see these characters quite frequently, you know, like what about Freddy Fazbear? I don't actually know if that's his name in that new one or whatever. And then there's Monty, then there's Roxanna, Roxy, I don't know, whatever. Well, Rox something, and then Chica. I think she's just called Chica again. I don't know. And they're all like glam rock versions of themselves, so inspired by that sort of era. And then, so it's their models in this MMD dance, and they're dancing to Rolling by Brave Girls, which was a viral hit K-pop song 2-3 years ago, maybe? 2 years ago, I would say, which sort of exploded out of nowhere because Brave Girls wasn't even a very well-known K-pop band at the time. Like, I'm not like an expert in K-pop, like, by that point, but I sort of like vaguely heard about the news. Because I myself was curious when, you know, when things happen in circles which I'm like vaguely aware of, I like to learn, I suppose, about them. But it's like Brave Girls, they were, I believe the term was like Nugu or something, or like a group which is not super popular or something like that. You know, they're not like one of the big ones which you've heard about. You know, the Blackpinks, the Twices, the I don't even know, ITZYs. Are they the next most popular? I don't know. The Girls' Generation, etc., etc., etc. And they have a song, Rolling, which just goes like rolling, 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 rolling. It's a bit high for me, but I think I sang it myself actually, probably like when it first started getting really popular or whatever. And it like exploded out of popularity kind of out of nowhere because it was something like the Brave Girls K-pop group had like the most performances at like military bases or something, something like that. Well, basically it was like they gained popularity because of like random fan cams, and then people were just like, oh, you know, they're like doing the nation proud or something, because like in South Korea military service is mandatory or something like that, and sometimes like these pop groups will come and perform there just to like raise morale or something, and then like they're the ones who did it the most or something, so people were just like, oh yeah, you know, they're like beacons of like the K-pop groups in South Korea or something like that. And then that song just became popular out of nowhere enough of them that they like went on tour with that song or something, and like they're probably doing okay now. I don't know, genuinely, to be honest. I don't even know any of other songs apart from that one. It was like a real flash in the pan, you know, to use a recent term, which apparently has a much more negative connotation than I expected, at least according to like Merriam-Webster or something, which I was like, whoa. I didn't know that. I thought flash in the pan was just meant something which was like temporary like that, but this is like temporary, but it feels to like have a temporary, you know, connotation to it. So it's those characters using MMD software, dancing to that viral song. And then to top it all off, it was a dance practice version of it. And dance practice is another thing in the K-pop sort of sphere, where it's basically like they have you know, fancy glow-up music videos and all that, and then they just have like the version of them like in their training room dancing with like a fixed camera and that sort of thing. And it just sort of like, I looked at that title and went, why does this intersection of like videos even exist in the first place? And I clicked on it and I watched it, and honestly, it just sort of like dawned on me like realization wise of it's sort of like a thing where, you know, like a siren's call, where you watch it and you can't like turn away, not because it's particularly like mesmerizing or anything, but it's just sort of like a curiosity thing, if anything. And it just sort of made me reflect, being like, what am I doing? Because when I break it down like that, it just sounds absolutely insane. It's such like a weird niche, like it's a niche thing of like MMD creators, overlapped with Five Nights at Freddy's fans, overlapped with like K-pop stans, overlapped with a very niche, like a niche type of video for K-pop stans. It's just like a weird corner of the internet. And then it just sort of made me reflect, because I was like, there's probably like millions of these, not specifically this type of video, but millions of these weird intersections of videos which you never thought would reasonably conceivably be a thing. And then someone out there is like creating content for it like an absolute machine, because they're just like, yeah, this is what I want to watch. I don't know. The only thing I could watch while thinking about it is like, this would like absolutely pop off as like those random React GIFs that you see, you know, as L plus ratio GIFs that I see also. I don't even know. Like, I don't have that TikTok mind to be like, what would I make like these random MMD gifts out of? But I find them funny every single time. Not every single time, that's perhaps an exaggeration, but I mean, it is an exaggeration. It's just, I don't know, it made me self-reflect, I suppose, in a way, not necessarily in a way where I was just like, I can't believe like I'm watching it, because that's sort of just like, I mean, life is full of weird and wondrous things, like why wouldn't I watch it? It's such a strange niche thing in the first place. I've got to watch it at that point. But it sort of just like made me reflect of like, I don't know, I guess that maybe we're not all as alone in this world as you might think. Like, no matter how niche or esoteric your interests are, and no matter how more niche they may be due to the overlap of your niche interests, like, not population, target audience being incredibly niche and incredibly like specific, someone out there probably has very similar interests to you. And you know, with the beauty of the internet is you can actually find these videos, I suppose, or not videos, this content in the first place, and find, you know, someone who's like thinks the same at you, who wants to see the same things at you. Maybe they're the ones who create it in the first place. It's such like it's a beautiful and odd thing, I think is the best way to describe it at the same time. Like, I'm not really sure what to make of it. It's sort of like a awe-inspiring in both senses of a word, right? Archaic and the modern, of the power of the internet in that sense. Like, what other sort of like very niche videos or like themes, I was going to say that have I seen? I don't know. What have you seen in the first place? Like, it's such a strange overlap, and the fact I think it exists just feels like, I mean, this is where I suppose if I was more negative, I'd be like, it's an affront to like God or something like that. But that's obviously, you know, that's not what I mean. I mean, it feels like a sort of a signifier of how, I'm not sure how real this is. Like, it's something that maybe you wouldn't, okay, maybe not that you wouldn't come up in your wildest dreams. I'm sure your wildest dreams probably have wilder things in it, but I don't know, it just, I feel like facing that head on, and it being something which, yes, I knew about, I suppose, all of the thematics, all the fandoms, these are like much more niche, I suppose, Venn diagram circles were covering. Just made it, it was like a video, and it was like, hey, this is calling out you, dear darling, because I know you understand this video, and I'm watching it, I'm like, I guess I do. And it's weird, and I like, it's not really like videos I would like seek out or anything, but I think it's just the sheer fact it exists. Someone sat down and went, yes, I want to create it, and I want other people to see this as well. It's sort of just like that's cool, you know? You might have expected me to be like, that's weird. I mean, it is, I mean, strange and like a breaking convention way, but I think it's cool in the breaking convention way as well. Things like this should exist. People should not be afraid, I suppose, to express, as long as it doesn't hurt people, you know, puppet like very harmful things or anything like that. Of course, you know, take what I say with like a grain of sanity. People shouldn't be afraid to like share these things. Like, to create and make weird and wacky, wonderful and wondrous things, because even if you have very niche interests, if you have niche overlaps of things that you want to see, someone out there's probably got a similar thing to you. If anything, it should be greater motivation for you to do something which, you know, appeals to you, because there will be people out there who also, you know, like the same things that you do, right? That person made that video with a share, probably with pure intent of being like, this is fun for me, you know, I like these things, and then shared it because they were like, other people are going to enjoy it too. How many views does it have? I don't know, I've closed it now, but I can go find it again. And, you know, probably like a good couple thousand people watched it. That's a lot of people. Well, okay, I guess those aren't unique views. It could be like one person watching it 2,000 times, but still. MMD FNAF security breach rolling girls. And there you go. There's the top one. Where's the actual music video one? I don't know where the dance practice one was. Oh, I watched the actual music video one, but the dance practice one was just recommended, and I thought it'd be funny if I talked about that one instead. I guess it, you know, Five Nights at Freddy's probably isn't all that esoteric anymore. Or not anymore. Like, it's very mainstream. What is this? But this seems like something which is on YouTube Kids, which shouldn't be on YouTube Kids. What is going on? FNAF rap? Okay, that's probably the most normal thing I've seen thus far. Why are there so many MMD FNAF security breach videos? Anyway, it's got 48,000 views in music video one, so, you know, more than quite a couple of people have seen it. If anything, it reminds me of, there's one I stumbled on. I don't even remember how I found it, to be perfectly honest. I think I was looking up this specific Vocaloid song, because I was like, oh yeah, this is a song which I remember a friend told me about ages ago. And, yeah, it's a catchy one. It's Suki Kirai. Actually, I'm not even sure if it was that one my friend told me about. I think that one I found by accident. Because wait, hold on. I can't remember exactly. It's either my friend told me about that song and I accidentally found the other one called Suki Daisuki, I think. I don't remember. I don't remember how I found this one. Anyway, someone out there made like a SpongeBob and Squidward like cover version of that song, which is like wild. Well, it's not even a cover. I guess it's a Utao, which is like a Vocaloid, like a general purpose Vocaloid program or something like that. Like, hold on, you can search it up yourself if you're really that curious. SpongeBob Squidward Suki Kirai, spelled SUKIKIRAI. We're still making stuff. Oh yeah, they made a cursed Utao concert, which is honestly hilarious. Yeah, I genuinely don't know what to say to these sort of things. They're so strangely, like, I guess because like SpongeBob doesn't feel like laser pointed targeted at me, so it didn't make me reflect in that sort of way. I don't think Security Breach really is either, to be perfectly honest. But it somehow feels more. It feels like a more internet-based community than SpongeBob does. SpongeBob's too mainstream, I think, to make me reflect. It didn't quite hit the niche. What's the word when it's like threshold? Didn't quite hit the niche threshold for me to be like, what on earth is going on? Anyway. So that exists, I suppose. I don't really know what to make of it. You know, when you find yourself in the center of a Venn diagram, I suppose you just sort of gaze upon the other shapes around you and just go, huh. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this episode off here. I don't even know what to make of this. I thought I'd share that interesting video I found with you today. And apparently Fawna's, you know, I bet she was talking about it as well with Raymond. And they both just had a happy moment from that. Anyway, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been dear darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope we see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.